Hi, this is Jay from Gamerfill, and today I'm reviewing Blur by Activision and Bizarre Creations, who also made Project Gotham Racing. Because of the way progression works in Blur, I'm going to be treating single player and multiplayer as two different entities, because in essence that's what they are. So without further ado, let's begin with the single player. The single player is a weird hybrid of several different games. The understated menu and tutorial videos are reminiscent of Colin McRae's Dirt. The power-ups remind one inescapably of Mario Kart or Wipeout XL, and funnily enough, Bizarre Creations have released a trailer video showing that they did indeed take inspiration from Mario Kart for the power-ups. The handling and car design come from essentially Need for Speed or Project Gotham Racing, and the game progression comes from the achievements section of any 5 Steam games you care to mention mashed together. And this, dear viewers, is the first problem. You see, this game suffers from achievement and unlockable overload. You have stickers, which are achievements, you have boss demands, which are essentially mandatory achievements if you want the boss cars, which are an achievement, and even during each race there are mini achievements like fan demands and fan runs. I wouldn't mind so much if there was any real difference I could detect between many of the cars, but essentially there seem to be a few models of cars which are replicated endlessly with minor mods. Add to this the handling modes. You have grippy, drifty, balanced and off-road, with the occasional add-on of very grippy or very drifty. There is very little customisation of the cars. Essentially, once you've beaten a boss, you can add their mod, or you can change the basic paint colour, eventually unlocking metallic, pearlescent or candy paint. I seem to have already unlocked metallic paint because every car I colour shines like the sun. The difficulty levels are also interesting because it defaults on easy, which means that if you want everything in a race you have to replay it 3 or 4 times. And you can choose to go to medium, which means you have to replay a race 3 or 4 times just to get first, or hard, which means you have to replay a race about 50 million times to get anything. The game promises photorealistic cars, and as far as I can tell it delivers. The thing is, I don't really notice, and I don't really notice the tracks either. I'm too busy racing. Or rather, racing and fighting. Because you see, if you pure race, you will just get lights. If you pure combat, you will just get fans, but you have to place 3rd or more to get the extra light for fans. Have you got that? All in all, single player feels very blah. It's not great, it's not awful. In fact, it's not really much of anything. It can't seem to decide what the heck it is. A pure racer? No. A pure Mario Kart basher? No. It's in between, and that's its main problem. You may be wondering at this point why I'm going to be talking about multiplayer, but so far there's been no multiplayer footage. And this is very simple. Bugs. It seems the multiplayer is very heavily bugged, and there have been many problems reported on all platforms, with issues varying from not being able to connect, the Xbox or PS3 freezing, or in my particular case, multiplayer for longer than 10 minutes actually turns my computer off for no discernible reason. Add to this that there is only support for the Xbox 360 controller on PC, leaving the rest of us out in the cold, that lag has a noticeable, visible effect on how far people get ahead of you in the start of the race. For example, if you are lagging quite badly, then they will already be halfway across the lap before you even accelerated. And the fact that on PC at least, the player base is on average around 100 people in total online, which means that if you want to play the starter races and not basically get butthurt, you will have to wait an average of half an hour for a race. Indeed, you seem to do a lot of waiting in this game, both multiplayer and single player. The average loading time for a first time on a race is 4 minutes, and that's in single player. So, in summary, this is the racing game equivalent of The Witcher. It's the game that thought it could, but doesn't. It's obviously been released with some major bugs, especially in the online, although single player seems remarkably free of bugs. this being compensated for in the crappy factor by the fact that single player appears to have no single direction, and this actually detracts from the single player. Overall, this is the first game I've actually had to pan, and I'm really sad about that because it has great potential. If it could decide which direction it wants to go, and if it could fix all these damn bugs, then it would possibly be a great game. But until then, I really can't recommend it to anybody. So sadly, Blur gets a 3 out of 10 and a must-try harder mark from Gamerfill. I'll leave you with a one-on-one battle versus Rhymer, the third boss, or rival if you will, from Blur.
Alright, you've stolen the show, taken Reimer's limelight along with his ride and his mod. It's built to earn fans, but you can use it however you want.